What is going on, guys? Today we are working on the 69 Dart again. As you can see, I got the stripe put on. This isn't a real stripe. I just got my neighbor to cut it up and put it on. So we'll see how long that lasts. We might get a real one down the road, but this was cheaper. So today we are going to put on these air shocks. These are Gabriel Hijackers air shocks. There's two brands to pick from. I forget the other one, but supposedly they're both reputable brands. And how they work is they're like old school bag systems for cars. So nowadays it would be like a coilover with a bag on it, and then it would go up with an air compressor. But now this is just, you fill it up and you set the height. So technically you could put an air compressor to it and just have a pretty much like a bag. But what we're gonna do is just set it and leave it at that. We need a stiffer air ride, or just a stiffer suspension in general, and this is one of the easiest ways to obtain that. We could take out the leaf springs and, you know, do like a plate and bring it up and stuff like that. Another option would be to cut this, because there's like probably 2 fingers wide of a fender under here. You can probably see it, and there's not much room for the clearance of the wheel, and we want to put some big tires on. So we'll get to the specs later, but we're just gonna be taking off the wheel and then taking off the actual strut, the suspension, and then replacing it with these, and then hooking up this air hose kit. So this is how you pretty much connect it to that valve stem and then connect the compressor to it. So you can always just easily hook up a compressor. What we're gonna do first is jack up the car and take off the wheel. So let's get to it. Take off the struts on this 69 Dart. We're just using the same 3/4 socket. We're not using an impact because we couldn't find one, but it's the same as the lug nuts. So we're gonna take those off, but first we're gonna explain how this works. So this is like the T air fitting nozzle. So what we're gonna do is, this all comes with the kit. And back in the day, I think it would be metal, but now it's plastic. So you got a fitting right there, and then there are rubber gaskets in there, and then it just screws on. And then this side goes to here, and then same with the other side. So you got 2 lines, and they both go to one fitting, and then you're just gonna hide this fitting somewhere. The instructions, you know, say the trunk or behind the gas, the license plate. So stuff like that. We actually found a hole underneath, and we're just gonna put this down under like that, and then it'll screw in, and then we got the lines coming from both sides. So it's gonna be pretty simple. Hopefully it works out well, and then we had to figure that out before we are taking off the struts, just so we have a whole plan in place. Let's put these together and then take off the struts. So every line comes with these 2 rubber gaskets. And they say to put them like 1/8 of an inch apart. So that's like roughly your fingertip, like roughly that. It shouldn't matter that much. And then it also comes with a ferrule. So you just want to put that right up to the edge of that, and then just put it right down in there nice and slowly. Go down just like that. Then the ferrule will stop it. And you want to have a little bit of this line at the end, of course, and you don't want these to fall off. And then, of course, this cap, just nice and smooth and snug, just like that. So, I mean, hopefully there's no problems with these. Maybe I'll get back to this video in like a year, and I'll post if they still are working as they should be. Those will knock out. So now the top one. So this is pretty much our game plan right here. These are fully collapsed right now. That is why it's sitting lower. I just had to use a shorter 3/4 inch socket for the top. because there wasn't a lot of clearance in there, and I had an adapter. So just a shorter one for the top and then 3/4 for the bottom. I used a rubber mallet to break it free a little, and then it slid right out. Once you get the bottom out, it comes this way, and then the top goes that way. So it's pretty simple stuff. Let's throw on the new ones. So it doesn't matter what side of the car they go on, but you do want the letters to be facing up, so the correct way. And then you want this cover, the opening down here, you don't want debris in it, so you want it to be face down. So if water does get splashed in the top of the wheel well, it won't fall down here and then get in there. So we're facing this down, and then this top of the air fitting is going to be up. So it is the next day. What we had to do is drill out the metal sleeve that's in here, and then we just opened it up and put Vaseline. These aren't made for the car, they are a universal fit. So that's why we did it this way. It's the cheapest way to get these air struts. So they fit fine. We already did the other side. What we did is just put 2 washers, and it fits really good. So we're gonna have no problems with them. It's like they were made for the car. And it was fun to do anyway. So to get the metal sleeve out, what we did is put a screw in there and then threaded it with a nut, and then just pulled it out, the metal sleeve, with an impact. But we did it overnight. So what we're gonna do here is actually take out the strut and do it again. One thing I wanna do is knock out these studs right here, because they are left-hand thread. The left side of the car is left-hand thread, and the right side of the car is right-hand thread. I don't know where that ranged from. I think I stopped in 72. So this is a 69 Dart. So what I want to do is knock out these studs and put right-hand thread, because they are hard to find, the left-hand thread with the correct sleeve size for the Krager lug nuts. It's hard to do, and I have right-hand thread that fit perfectly. So I'll probably knock out one of the front ones and then run to the auto parts store, but that's a different video. Actually, it probably won't be a video because there's nothing really there. Let's get the strut on. So we just got the strut in. We already attached the airlines. So what we're gonna do next is route the airlines. I have to find a path. I'm trying not to get in the way of the exhaust either. So I'm thinking like up and around the gas tank, because it's not gonna move that much and this isn't gonna get pinched. So I'm gonna route it like that, and then I'm gonna take off all the fittings. There's a ferrule and 2 compression fittings, and then the cap. So I'm just gonna take all that off, cut the line, leave a little bit extra length, and then I just have to keep the line. I actually don't have to use any clips because the gas tank is going to hold it in place. So that's the plan right now. I'll let you know how it goes. So this is the T fitting. So 1 line to the left, 1 line to the right, and then you just fill it up with this valve right here. It says a maximum 200 pounds and minimum 25. I took this off to make it easier, but this was just under there like you saw earlier. You just want to have the compression fittings like 1/8 of an inch apart. They'll settle though, but just want to push them in there like that. Just like that, have a nice click. Just screw on the cap. Now we're gonna do the other side and finish up. This is how it works. It's one of these bicycle valves to 2 of these side valves that go to each of these air struts, and then you just fill them up and it'll adjust your ride height. So we just got done putting everything on the car. As you can see, we put the wheels in. So the back, this tire size that I have, it wouldn't fit. So I got 2 45/60 14s, and they would rub. They would come right about here. So instead of cutting this fender or rolling it, I figured out the air struts would be probably the best bet. It's more of a stiff ride height and you can adjust it. So what I have it set at right now is 68 pounds and I can put my fingers between it. So I thought that was, you know, a pretty good start. When I take it around the block, I'll dial it in. And when I hit like bumps, train tracks and all that, it definitely has like that muscle car stance now with the back being higher up off the ground. The old shocks, they were Monroe struts, they weren't air shocks, but they were old. They're probably from like the 80s or something. So those were blown out. So this car looks a lot better. I can't do the left side right now because left-hand thread, I don't have the lug nuts for it with the sleeve that would fit in the center lines. So I'm just gonna knock those out and make an Instagram short for it. So if you wanna see that, it'll be in my Instagram. But that wraps up this video. We're not really working on the Dart anymore because that's pretty much all we can do to it. I just wanted to keep it as a daily right now, eventually swap out the motor, but it's running solid. So that's probably the end of building the Dart. We're gonna do like top 5 things I love about the car and cinematics with the car. So we're gonna do a lot more videos like that, but not working on it per se. But I know a lot of people aren't interested in muscle cars and they like the Japanese cars, and I like both, of course. So the Nismo is almost done. We actually got the wing today, so we're gonna put that on the car, and we're still waiting for the front rotors. I'm gonna try to polish up the S14 over there, and then the Supra is gonna be going to the shop to get worked on really soon. So you're gonna see a lot more of this content, and down the line, we're gonna be working on all those muscle cars in there too. So if you like the muscle car content, let me know. I would like to know who actually likes the muscle car content. So I'll see you guys in the next one.